What is your value proposition? What makes you different? How are you going to serve people in a slightly better way? They completely bastardize what we do, and that's why a lot of this stuff really, all these companies were coming after the whole process, because they didn't really see any value. Like, you didn't really do anything. My role is they just put up a sign, handed over some keys, and that's what they did. Now, you got to talk about the value of what you're doing through the process, demonstrate it, but have fun. I mean, that's what we try to go with. Now, Sunshine had your hand raised a minute ago. Did you have a comment for something, or maybe you forget about it right by now?
No, so I guess kind of going back to the iBuyer thing, if any of you guys are in the LabCoat Agents group, it's probably the most common post, and it's always a scarcity post. People are always terrified, and the iBuyer companies are coming with pitchforks. But what I heard you say is that they all pay a realtor commission. So they all pay a realtor commission?
If you got the property listed and you take it to them, yes.
So they all pay a realtor commission? That was pretty much.
I mean, there's some key things with iBuyers as you get into them, but I'm sure this guy can answer all of them. But I mean, you can take, you take a property to, Open Doors, who we use. We take it to them before we list it, because sometimes Open Doors pay way more than the value of the house. And so before you put it in the system, get an offer and take it to them. And make sure that when you go there, you can leverage that offer. Are you speaking about this today? Because I don't want to take your thunder. I mean, you can leverage that offer. What we do is we generally go and go, here's where we think the market determines your value. Or here's where you think your house is worth. Way up here. Here's where the iBuyer thinks your house is worth. Way, way down here. There's somewhere in the middle where we think you are. Let's talk about that. And so now we've got ammunition, and it really works to our advantage when we get in the door. Now, we are in Atlanta too, and I know there's a lot of them now moving up, but this really affects the suburbs more than the higher price points. I know that they're raising them, but it's certainly, you guys have been way more effective than we have.
Well, there's another way that you can use it too. So you take it in and you say, hey, I'm going to put this rider on your home that says, buy this home, we'll buy yours. So people moving in from another area will attract more attention to your home, and you offer those people the same thing, locking out the other agents. So there's a lot of different ways that you can leverage them. You just got to think about it and go, okay, how can I use this as a tool to get more attention to my listings? I've got to know every single thing there is about these. We use 3 different systems. We use Zillow, Open Door, and OfferPad. I got to know all the ins and outs of them so I can be educated and not be fearful. And that's the thing most agents aren't. They don't get educated. They just bitch about it, or they don't use it enough. And there's so many things great that can happen from it. There's billions of dollars behind these companies. They're not leaving. So you might as well go ahead and embrace it and go, how can I use this? It is a part of our game. I can't get up and go to the bathroom and go out and get my phone and without seeing a message from Knock, Open Door, OfferPad, or Zillow. That's just the way that it is today. So, and by the way, they're also making phone calls direct to your friends, to your people. So if you're not leveraging them, they're going to be reaching out to them and getting those people, and you're going to go, oh my God, I didn't even know that you were thinking about moving. Oh, well, we got a deal from Open Door, and we just didn't want to mess with it, made it too easy, so we're moving to San Francisco. We're seeing this happen all the time. So it might be more prevalent out in our area, but they're always constantly moving. Zillow, they were only spending up to like $550. They just upped it to $650 now. So they are going to be continuously making moves and making changes to their programs.
Well, we all want options, right? We're gonna, you're gonna go buy a vehicle. You're gonna do some shopping, right? Before you just go buy the first one you see. Same thing with any consumer. It's no different. They want to know what their options are. If you can provide them multiple options, you're gonna win more deals. All right, so hand right here.
Justin, and maybe on the end.
Sarah.
But Justin, you said before, can you share with the group like how you went from prospecting, like with the database, and then like at what point you added on the next piece of like paid leads and like the next piece. So really, what I really got out of the reunion was like a reminder that like you've got to lead revenue through the marketing piece, and to really keep. So if you could just go through.
So topic change, basically, kind of when and where do you start spending money for leads? And so Graham and I both believe that if you're not doing about $30 million in sales, then you shouldn't be spending money on any platform that provides you leads. You should be spending money on your past clients and your sphere of influence. I think Michael was saying, 44% is now what it was, but I mean, and that was referrals, which means that he's not talking about friends, and your PCSOI is your past clients and your sphere of influence, where on average 80% of your business comes from those people, right? So you have to come up with a platform on marketing and touching those people. And we do that 4 times a month. So these are your friends. These are the people that you go play golf with. We are contacting those people 4 times a month. The average agent in here, if I ask you, would you like to contact your best friend 4 times a month about real estate, you're gonna look at me and go, no way, I would drive him insane. And that's because you're high eyes and you want to sell real estate, you're salespeople, but you have the fear of rejection. But you have to stay in front of them. So what we did, and I'll give you, our quick simple plan was we just do a video email on the 7th of every month, and it's 90 seconds or less.
We coach with the same coach.
Yeah.
So we're in different markets. He's more in town, and I'm in Buckhead. We have the same coach, so we're doing the same thing.
Well, her PCSOI database is very different from mine. I don't hang out with her friends, she doesn't hang out with my friends. We don't have the same past clients generally. There'll be some overlap, but the 15th of every month is just a postcard. The 21st of every month is just an email, and then you call them 4 times a year. It's a very basic plan that if you did this to everybody that you knew, it works, it'll blow your business up.
And here's the thing, if your past client got an email from you, they didn't really want it, they're just gonna delete it, but they still saw your name, you still made an impression that you're trying to stay in touch with them. Fair enough?
Yeah, that's fair. So back to your question, we didn't spend money on anybody except the people that we knew, and our budget was so nominal. We were a cash cow. We were like 81.5% profit margin. And fortunately, I had a brother that was high up in the CEO company. He looked at my business and went, "You got to spend money. It's time to start spending money because there's a lot more to make." And so that's what we finally did, and it was right at the $30 to $35 million mark that we started buying things as well. But still, we don't do any mass marketing. We don't have billboards. We don't have radio. We don't have TV. All that's another slice of the pie that's going to be at the end of us doing everything to get around to that.
Terry, would you share something else?
Yeah, I was just gonna follow up with Justin. We have a database of 6,000. I've been in Atlanta for 40 years, and I only started in real estate 8 years ago. I had lots of different lives before that, and so all of those people were in my telephone, and it was a behemoth. And so our coach, has really gotten me to, Eric Jordan is Eric Jordan Coaching. You can find him if you're interested. He was with the Tom Ferry Group, but he's very big on just touching your database. And I'm a referral-based agent anyway. And I know this goes against a lot of people's, we don't call expireds, we don't call FSBOs, because we have enough people in our database that we know and who want to hear from us that we need to contact. So why call strangers when there are people in our database that want to hear from us? And 80% of our business last year, 52 transactions, 80% of those were referrals, sphere referrals or agent referrals. So I'm calling agents and I'm calling people I know. Now, I know when we reach our goal this year is go to 17 million to 25 million. I know when we get to that point, we're gonna be needing to spend money at some point, and then we're gonna have to maybe do some things differently with our team, but I've got a coach who's gonna help me go from A to M, and then from M to Z. So it's just building blocks and not getting ahead of ourselves. When I had my team before, I went against all the rules. I didn't follow MREA model. I did not lead with revenue. And so we grew too fast, too big, and I burned out physically and mentally and almost left the business because of it. So we took a step back in order to take, many steps forward. So it's okay to step back in order to move forward too. But I would say the biggest thing that you can do if you take nothing away today, pick up your phone and just call the people that are in your phone. You don't have to call strangers.
And don't make strangers out of your database.
And yeah, your peeps want to hear from you. And they don't necessarily want to hear about real estate. They want you to call them and say, "Hey, I saw you on Facebook and So your 9-year-old had a birthday, and it looked like a really great party. Tell me about it. Who did you hire? Or, oh, you did it by yourself. Cool. That's what they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear about real estate.
Terry, tell them about that.
I'm gonna parlay off that one, Rhett. Y'all take out your pen and write this down, because this is the coolest damn app I've ever seen, and it goes right in line with what she was just talking about. First.io, not first.com, it's first.io, okay? This is an app that, yes, it is a monthly cost. It is not the cheapest thing, but what I'm gonna tell you guys, you go to your phone as an agent, agents suck at technology, so this very dumbs down everything. You can do it. Everybody in here can do it. I can do it. You go click on one button and it downloads all your phone contacts. You click the other button, it downloads all your email contacts. Goes for about 3 to 5 days, does all this database search and scrubbing and everything, links it to the properties that those phone numbers and emails are attached to, the addresses, and then it goes into the algorithms of what they're doing in their life. And then out of your 500 friends that are in there, it'll tell you, hey, these 5 people right here are 5 times more likely to buy or sell real estate in the next 3 to 6 months. So all of a sudden you go, hey, now you don't pick up the phone that you had to talk to somebody in 2 years and go, hey, the algorithms in my phone said that I need to call you. You pick up and you just reconnect with these people. And you just start the connection. You go, hey, it might be worth my time to get reconnected with them on a friendly basis before anything really comes up. And guess what? They know you're a real estate agent. Real estate will come up. So that first.io, Rhett, you and I were out there at the conference.
Yeah. And they're doing the banking system for Lowe's. I mean, they have a lot. So they're Lowe's Home Improvement. They're trying to basically get a hold of people to do home improvement projects. But they're finding that what they were doing before, they were spending all this money just mailing things, kind of what real estate agents do, mailing things out to people just randomly, trying to find people that are about to spend money on their house doing improvements so they can get top dollar for it. Well, similar technology, they're trying to send the coupons out to people so that they can get money off to come into Lowe's versus Home Depot. So it's really pretty smart.
I've got 51 of my agents that signed up for it, and I've had such awesome stories of going, oh my God, I got reconnected with people I haven't seen in years, and now they're looking at buying and selling in the next 3 months. It's unbelievable. It is awesome. It is the coolest technology piece I've seen, and it's so damn easy. That's what I love about it. It was made for real estate agents in mind. This is the other thing. I'm going to vary a little bit from Justin over here. My thoughts on this. He said don't spend any money on different marketing things to get to 30 million, work your sphere of influence. I do believe everybody should be working their sphere of influence, because if your friends won't use you, you're just that damn bad. You need to get out of the business. So first start off with your friends and get that going. But in our area of town, our average price is about $330,000, not as high as what theirs is. If I get an agent that's producing about 20 to 25 deals, or their production is about $9 to $10 million a year in sales volume, then I look at it and go, look at the percentages of what was shown up here early. 61% was referral based just 3 years ago, and last year was 44%. That's a 17% drop. The reason that drop is there is because you have these big teams that are spending a ton of money on the online leads, and they're getting in touch with your friends and your neighbors 13 months out. And they're getting them on like a damn pit bull. They're not going to let go. And they're getting better and better and better at that 11-month space. And guess what? You don't know about it until they're 2 months out and they're getting really serious. So then the question comes down to, are they really that committed to you, or has that company, that team that's been working with them for that 11-month period, have they built that relationship so tight that the people feel guilty to them? It doesn't mean your friends are bad friends. It just means you're not skilled enough in today's market. So my advice is, if you're getting the volume up in the 20, 25, you're getting your friends using you and you're feeling good about yourself, go start investing in some good online sources and start getting your skills down, because that game's not stopping, and it's only going to be dramatically, in the next 2 years, you're going to see that escalate up dramatically because of the teams that are buying a lot of leads out there.
I think you hit the nail on the head as far as like how many transactions has a lot to do with it too. The price.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think I was talking more on the lines of building like a big team. Like once you've got 4 or 5 people working, you're working 4 or 5 different spheres, then, you know, so it's that, there goes my water. So it's that, more that than the individual agent. So I totally agree with you on that.
So, just going back earlier, so if you have, say you have a listening group you're out to that's coming up in the community that, you know, I as an agent know maybe it's going to be more up part of the hard sell, I can go to Open Door and knock.com and just present it to me.
Don't go to Knock. Knock is the only one that's not wanting to work with you, and they're trying to cut you out. The other 3, Open Door, OfferPad, and Zillow, won't work.
So you're saying if I sign a listening agreement,
You don't even have to have a listing agreement. You don't have to have a listing agreement. You can put an address in there and get an offer and take it to them.
It depends on how much you want to make too. Open Door has a referral policy. If you just put in the address and you don't have a listing, they'll pay you 1% referral fee if the deal works out. But if I take we made an addendum that says, hey, if I take you to 3 iBuyers, you're going to agree to pay me 3% of the commission if the deal works out for you. Then we have a little bit more control. And if we want to reduce the commission down, it's our goal. Because if you can make 1%, great. But if you can make 3, why not make 3?
Yes, you're saying just for a full, you're saying just full listing of your neighborhood, like, maybe they want to sell, right? You're fine. I'm saying you're farming, going to like, look, I'll get your household today at that price. You get a 1%, but you're building for that.
So the question is, are we just pulling like
Not just.
okay, are we like taking a neighborhood and getting offers in the neighborhood and trying to find people in the neighborhood? But no, we're really using it as the carrot, like Mark and everybody else is using it to get people to make the phone call, to get in front of them, and then we have it in our back pocket there. And some of our agents will have addendums and things like that signed, or one-day listing agreements, and say, before I present the offer to you, you have to sign this listing agreement. So there's all kinds of ways you can get around it, and some agents just trust the people they're working with. You know, I say get it in writing, because money's money, and you never know what people will do.
Do we have a question on, shift topic to something else? Anybody got anything they want to ask, or we can get back to what we can say on iBuyer, either one. Anybody got a question?
Can I throw a topic out there? Like,
Yeah, man, throw it out there.
Like your online presence?
Yes.
Who has a
Yes.
good online presence? What does it look like? Just yell out some things, like reviews on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, things like that.
Social media.
So, Facebook. All right,
Google
so
reviews.
anybody using, Zillow really is still kind of the public's website, right? I mean, we gotta admit that, like, that's where the public goes. So we worked real hard to get like 400 and something reviews on Zillow, and that didn't cost us any money. It was just pushing people to writing reviews. Well, that put us #1 in Atlanta. And basically, I think last year we did 24.5% of our business came from reviews. So that's almost 90 homes came from a free source. And it was just because we have online presence. We're #1 on Yelp in Georgia. We're #1 in Atlanta on Zillow and Trulia, Facebook. We have a lot of reviews. Find your niche market and work really hard to get reviews. Just be better than the person in front of you. Stay in front of them. And you will get a ton of business. Your phone will start, just ringing off the hook.
I was just gonna, no, if you're done. I was just gonna say, yes, along with the reviews, but I think nowadays, if you have, dozens of reviews on Zillow, they are gonna go to Facebook and look you up, right?
They're gonna go everywhere.
So if those reviews are positive, and they go to Facebook and your profile picture, you're doing a keg stand, they're not gonna hire you. So make sure that you're just as professional and clean on Facebook.
You have to be professional and clean everywhere. So a third of the buyers today are iBuyer, are the millennials. That's a third of the buying population. It's the largest buying population ever for one group. They go to 8 to 10 different websites to validate who you are. 8 to 10, they're going to look you up. I watch them go on my website and read every review or every bio of every one of my buyer agents, and they pick up the phone and they call Emily specifically because Emily went to the same school they went to and has a similar degree. So your online presence across the board needs to be uniform, and it needs to be in as many places as you can possibly put it.
And please, update your headshot. Please, I beg you.
No 1040 pictures. You know what a 1040 picture is?
No 5-year ago pictures.
Or
We
2040.
take a new picture every year because we change our hairstyles, or up, down, different. Mine is still gray, but we change. And please, people are looking to see consistency. Hire some professional to take the photos. Same with your listings. Do not, please, for God's sake, do not take iPhone videos of your listings. Pay for listings.
I will one contrary to that, Zillow. Zillow video is free. It can only be on a phone.
Yeah, and we do.
No sound, and that is one of the best things. It really boosts your
After
presence.
you pay for the professional photography and the professional drones or the professional video, then you do the walkthrough on your Zillow.
But Rhett, if you can't hold a phone steady, you shouldn't do those Zillow business.
So nugget.
Stabilizer, you're right.
So that's a nugget, guys. Probably most people in this room don't understand what you guys are talking about.
So
on Zillow.
if you're a listing agent, you get free advertising on Zillow, whether you like them, hate them, whatever. Your profile's on there. I don't care how good you are. If I was referred to use you as an agent, whatever city you're in, someone said you're the best, I go there and look. You got a gray silhouette on Zillow. I'm not sending you the referral. Gray silhouette means you did take the time to upload your picture, or if it doesn't look like it does on your pictures on Facebook when I look at your basic profile. So, but anyway, once you're a listing agent, you have your listing on there. Make at least, go back on your profile, write at least 2 sentences about yourself. Have something that's somewhat interesting. And then take the time and do the Zillow video on every listing. It's 100% free. You can only do it after you have the listing. You can't talk on it. It's basically like video this room, pause. Video this area, pause. And I like to tell people to pick the 3 highlights of the house. You don't have to show every square inch of the house. If it's got a really cool outdoor fireplace, if it has a really neat bar in the basement, and it's got a really nice kitchen, make those the 3 little photos.
Brett, can I just bother you on that one? Because this is much better than what Rhett's saying. Sorry.
I'll just leave flat.
Okay, there are Zillow-approved photographers. If you hire if you are an agent and you look at your card and it says professional photographer, then go ahead and take pictures of your own listings. But if it doesn't say photographer on your card, don't dare take the pictures. And then you go to your photographers that you're paying money to and say, are you a Zillow preferred photographer? If you are not, then I'm not going to use you anymore. And you go get a Zillow approved photographer and they will do the 2-minute video for you so it is professional and does not look like crap like an iPhone video. It makes a huge difference. So you'll see agents that have on their listings a little 2-minute video and you go, how the hell are they doing it? They have a Zillow approved photographer. The other thing is, I have an agent that they're big into Zillow. They do one thing every single day. They get up and the first thing they do in their day, they adjust every one of their listings 1 picture. And by doing that, their listing goes up in the parameters, and their views, when they do the metrics and they show their listings versus all the others, on the views that go into them, they win listings just off of that. So you adjust it 1 time a day, just 1 photo is all you gotta move, and it will totally reboot yours up at the top of the list, and you can then go do the metrics, pull it out, and you'll be amazed at the difference of how much more views you get over all the other homes.
Well, let me add one thing to that moving a photo. Another thing you can do, if you have a stale listing, I always ask the photographer to take multiple angles of the front of the house. Take one from the side, it might be a really crappy angle, but you know we get like muscle memory with stuff, or like you're scrolling through your phone, or you look at some consumers looking through Zillow, then they go to Realtor.com, they go to wherever. They see that house all in the past, they've seen it because they recognize the picture. If you change it and make the angle different, you can basically make it look like a completely different listing. Rewrite your descriptions too, and do that often. And if you go through and just switch those up, all you're doing is just you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. It makes your listings show up even better. I see Rhett nodding back here in the back. Those little things that work. You're taking the same. It doesn't cost you more money to have a few extra angles in front of the house with a photographer.
Yeah, and go back to the Zillow video, just to put a point on this, guys. When you put a Zillow video up, when you do it from your app on your phone and you save it, most likely very few agents out there are doing it. It puts you on the very first page when you search that zip code. So the first thing we do when we go into a listing appointment is we pull up the zip code, and on the right it's going to be all the houses that have videos, and most of the time 3 or 4 of those are ours. We go, that's our listing, that's our listing, that's our listing, that's our listing. If you want to be #1 on Zillow, then join us. And they go, how do you do that? We go, well, we're preferred agents and we work hard to do this stuff. And if you can find other people to do it, that's great. But this is service we offer. So that's a great listing tool for you.
I'm curious, how does the photographer go about becoming a Zillow preferred photographer?
It's a pain in the ass because we put 2 of them through. But here's what we did. We went to I had 5 photographers our agents were using. I went to 3 of them and I said, if you're not willing to do this, I'm not going to push you out there as one of the ones we work with. So we made the 3 go to. 1 of them was already approved. The other 2 had to go through it. It took about 3 to 4 months to go through the whole process. And I kept going to him, what the hell? But I'm going to tell you, now that the agents have this and we've told the photographers, we will not use you, but what you will do is every one of these, we want the 2-minute video to put on the front of ours. So they package it up for us, and it makes it easy for our agents because you don't want to have to do that crap. And but true, it's not an easy process. So most photographers don't want to do it. But you can control your business and tell them what you want, and they'll get on board.
Does the photographer have to upload the video, or how do you get it into
photographer, I think, has to upload the video, yes.
Yeah, because that's the complaint, like, that I have with it. You can't go in a listing presentation, they had the house, or even go when the photographer's there and do that video if the listing's not live. You can't go live on the listing without the photos, or you shouldn't anyway. So you have to go back to the listing to get the video if you're doing it yourself as an agent. Am I correct in saying that?
The video is through an app on your phone, guys. So you have to do
For the
it.
agent app.
You have to do it with your phone. Now what your photographers probably have is still, something that holds it still, but it's an ugly video. It really is an ugly video when you do it with your phone.
I'll say
It
this,
works, but it still puts you on the front page.
an ugly video will trump not absence of a video any day.
We send out ugly photos before our secret inventory. Every listing appointment we go on, we take ugly photos with our iPhone, and that's our secret inventory. We send those out to our database and go, here's something that's up and coming, and it's not an ugly photo intentionally, but it's just not a great photo. And then when we get the real photos, we'll send them those, but that's what we send out for secret inventory.
I just got a comment. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that really worked to increase our visibility on Zillow as well, or to increase the click rate, the view rate, is the first photo is a twilight photo, like a picture taken like around dusk, because it's a page of all daytime front of homes, and then there's just one that's at night. What's going on there? That's kind of, it like throws them off and they go to it. So I really love and recommend that.
So
And that's boxbrownie.com.
Hey, get out your pens. Write this down, boxbrownie.com.
Yeah, you don't even have to have the photographer go out and do it.
You can take professional photography photos and then upload them. I'm gonna give you guys, you might want $20 free credit for Box Brownie. Write down that.
Brad, I can beat you with $40 free credit.
Can you really?
Snap.
Give it to him. Hey, give it to him.
Okay, are you sure?
I don't care.
Okay, boxbrownie.com. If
He's
you
so right this time.
already have an account, you just have to message them with the code LCAROCKS! If you don't already have an account, input the code LCAROCKS! And you'll get a $40 credit.
I gotta message Brad right now. I need my credit up.
So I'll give you an example of how we just
All
use it.
capitals, by the way, all capitals.
We have a 1.150, a listing that has a flat backyard, 0.6 acres, and we paid Box Brownie, I think it was $40 to put in a pool in the backyard. And so our brochures that we did say virtual renting, this is, of a pool, and it's on on the MLS as well. So it just gives people an idea of what could happen. You can make grass green, you can put leaves on trees, boxbrownie.com is great.
You should though make sure that the grass does turn green in the spring.
Don't misrepresent the property is what we're saying. Yeah, you can view this as it could look like this if you had landscape.
Yeah.
But right now it's still dirt. Yeah.
Just make sure though, if like the grass is brown because the snow just dried up, make sure though in spring the grass actually does turn green itself before you make it. Because you'll get. Oh, and by the way, when you're doing the twilight photos or you're doing like the clouds, you have to make sure that the sun is setting at the right angle or else you're gonna get in trouble. So they have different options you can choose from, like northeast, west, south. But just make sure that when you're doing that, the sun is setting in the right place.
You can mess yourself up there too. Yeah. You got a question in the back?
When you said you change one picture there, are you changing it in the MLS or are you changing it in Zillow?
In Zillow,
In Zillow, okay. And you're just moving it from,
moving it from 1 to 3 or 1 to 30, whatever.
Yeah, the agent can do that themselves once they're logged into the Zillow account.
Because she gets that, and that's the first thing she does every day.
Tristan had an interesting one with Box Brownie. You get the porn room, right? That they had to check it out. That was share that story to everybody.
You can't say that on stage without an explanation.
All right, come on, Tristan, explain this one to us. It wasn't Tristan's porn room. It was just the porn room of one of his listings. I say it wasn't. I don't know.
Thanks for explaining that. So there was this huge $12 million home we had on Sunset Plaza in Hollywood Hills. And the guy's a photographer, and in the middle room, he had taken out everything and made it into a disco room. He dimmed down the lights, and then a disco ball would pop out, and have a stripper pole in the corner, and then a big king-size bed on the left-hand side. And it was really difficult to sell that. So we called Box Brownie. I said, can you guys do something else with this room? Make it like a living room with like an open view to the outside instead of these dark windows. And Box Brownie, they tested it out for us for the first time. They hadn't done this before. They remodeled the whole thing and made it look like it was amazing. And so that helped us out. Then when they did that, I said, well, why don't you do the rest of the house, because it sucks too, so.
But you disclose everything. I don't need this. I got a microphone. Yeah, double mics and start feeding back. You disclose that, make sure people know that you're not trying to misrepresent. This is what it could look like. And just be careful the way you put that out there. And every state's a little bit different as far as how that goes. But these are little nuggets, little tools you can use to help out your clients in getting the most money out of their house instead of taking a huge discount for something. Show someone what it could look like. I think people just want a vision. Somebody else, he's got something else. Are we out of time already? Right here.
We're out of time. I'll make it really fast, I'm sorry. When you were talking about the iBuyers and when you have a listing and using that as another piece of value to bring to them and say, hey, I can get you an iBuyer if that's something you're interested in. You mentioned something about this. All I remember is commission and you have to ask them to pay your 3%. Does that mean that in that sort of situation, the seller doesn't have to pay 6%?
No, that would be, I'm trying to attract you as a buyer to my listing, you have a home to sell. You come buy this home, you get excited about it, we'll give you a guaranteed offer on your home. Make the transition very easy, let you write a non-contingent offer on the listing that I've got. Is that what you were asking?
Right, no, I was asking about if I'm the listing agent and you're the seller and I'm at a listing appointment and I want to make sure you know all of your options because you said, well, maybe I'll just call Open Door or Zillow and I'll say, well, I can actually handle that for you because we have relationships with them. And then you said something about, but you have to get it in writing.
Well, let's, like what he said, hey, we don't always get it because you might be a friend of yours, they're not gonna mess you over.
Got it.
Most of the people you're gonna be meeting might not know you or might not have that comfort level, so we have an addendum that we drew up saying that we would be protected for 3% if they accept one of the iBuyer solutions we bring to them. We never tell them who it is that we're gonna take it to, right? Most people, if they've heard of it, they haven't taken it to them or they've taken it to one of them. So if I was sitting down with them and I said, I'm gonna take them over 3 iBuyers, oh, I've already taken it to one. Great, who'd you take it to? I'll take them off the list, right?
I wouldn't use the term iBuyer, I'd use the term a cash offer.
Whatever, most people don't really know a lot in that space. And I will say this, I think, and you said it, you guys work with them, off-market listings, if you guys can just remember that phrase, the 3 words off-market listings, we all have them as agents. You have them in every single office, they walk in the door, an agent says, oh, I'm getting ready to list this property a week from now, people are getting the painting done, somebody says, oh, I've got a buyer for that home. The one thing that we can all leverage right now to get buyer control over the ones that think, hey, Zillow's got it in 15 seconds, I know everything that you know as an agent, you can easily turn around and go, would you like to see some of the off-market listings that we have in our office? Who the hell's not gonna say that and say yes if they're not a legitimate buyer? So you can gain control of the conversation by leveraging those 3 words, off-market listings, because they all know what you're talking about, and we have been using that and really gaining a lot of control in conversations.
Very good. All right, before we wrap up, I know we're going to have some guys. Well, everybody stand up just a second. I promised Terry Swanson, so you guys stand up. All right, everybody will clap. I promised Terry Swanson we'd give him a standing ovation. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Where's Jeff? All right, you got a microphone for him. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.